You know that one person who always seems to be at the center of a new product launch or a cool new feature? They're called product managers, and honestly, it's one of the most critical, but also one of the most misunderstood jobs out there today. So in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain and figure out what exactly product management is all about.
Okay, so let's just dive right in. And you might think this is a little weird, but probably the best way to understand what a product manager does is to first get super clear on what they don't do. It just helps clear up so much of the confusion right off the bat.
First off, and this is a big one, a product manager is not an engineer. Yeah, they partner really closely with the engineering team, but you're not going to find them in the weeds writing the actual code that makes the product tick.
And nope, they're not the designer either. While they have a huge say in the design direction, they aren't the ones in Figma creating wireframes or picking out that perfect shade of blue. That's what your amazing UX and UI designers are for. They're key partners in this whole dance.
And you definitely won't find them on the front lines closing deals. That's the sales team's turf. A great PM's goal is to make sure that sales team has a product that's so valuable, so on point, it practically sells itself.
Okay, now this one might actually surprise you. A product manager isn't, strictly speaking, a project manager. They're not just living in a spreadsheet, tracking tasks, and hitting deadlines. Their focus is way bigger. It's about the long-term success and health of the product itself, not just checking boxes to finish a project.
All right, so if they aren't coding, they aren't designing, they aren't selling, and they aren't even managing the project timeline, what in the world is left for them to do? Like, what is their actual job?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, right? It all boils down to them being the strategic connector. That's the core of the role.
So here's the formal definition. Product management is the strategic engine that oversees a product's entire journey, from that very first spark of an idea all the way through its development and growth to the day it's eventually retired. People often call the PM the CEO of the product, and it's a pretty great analogy. They have all the responsibility for its success, but here's the catch. They have none of the direct authority. Just think of the PM as the hub at the center of a wheel. They're the ones connecting all the different spokes. You've got the executives, designers, engineers, marketing, you name it. The PM's job is to be that translator, making sure every single person is aligned and pulling in the exact same direction.
Okay, so how do they actually pull all that off? Well, it's not magic. It's a well-defined process, a life cycle that's designed to turn a business goal into a real, successful product. And this is what that life cycle looks like. The most important thing to get here is that it's not a straight line. It is a continuous, never-ending loop. It all kicks off with a business outcome, like we need to increase revenue, and then it moves through these core stages.
These 6 stages are pretty much the PM's playbook. First, they discover a problem. Then, they validate their solution with real users. Next, they work with their teams to build it. Then comes the big day. They launch it out into the world. But it doesn't stop there. They immediately start to evaluate its performance with hard data. And finally, this is the most important part, they iterate. They take what they've learned and start the loop all over again to make the product even better.
Okay, so that's the big picture. But what does a product manager actually do on a random Tuesday morning? Well, the truth is, they have to wear a lot of different hats, sometimes all in the same day.
Yeah, their work is all over the map, in the best way possible. One moment they're doing high-level strategic work on the product vision and roadmap. The next, they're digging deep into user research or market data. Then they might switch gears and spend the morning writing the super detailed requirements for a new feature. And on top of all of that, they're leaders, managing team morale, resolving conflicts, and negotiating. It is a true balancing act.
It's also really important to know that not all product manager jobs are the same. Their focus can be quite different, and they generally fall into one of 2 camps, inbound or outbound.
So, on one side, you have your inbound PMs. They're internally focused. They live and breathe the product development process, working hand in hand with engineering and design. Then on the other side, you have your outbound PMs. They're focused externally, working with sales, marketing, and customer success to craft the product's vision and figure out the best go-to-market strategy.
But, at the end of the day, whether they're inbound or outbound, a PM's real superpower isn't having all the answers. It's what this quote gets at. Their true value lies in asking the right questions. The questions that uncover a user's real needs, challenge assumptions, and guide the entire team toward building something that truly matters.